See this time? You're going to want to memorize it. It's not just some random number, no. It's a doomsday clock, a self-destruct sequence we built into the system ourselves. And the best part? We're all just kind of forgetting about it.
And this is the date, January 19th, 2038, at exactly 7 seconds past 3:14 a.m. Look, this isn't some sci-fi movie plot. This is a math problem, a really, really dumb math problem that we've known about for decades and are now just scrambling to fix.
And that is the exact moment that millions, maybe billions of computers literally run out of time. The future just snaps back to the past. And why? Oh, it's all because of one of the most monumentally stupid, short-sighted decisions ever made in tech.
All right, why your tech will fail. A story about a very, very small box. So yeah, let's talk about why everything is going to break. It's actually a pretty simple story, a classic cautionary tale about picking a box that was just way, way too small for the job.
Okay, first thing you got to get is that computers are fundamentally dumb. They don't know what January 19th even is. They just count. All they're doing is counting the number of seconds that have passed since midnight, January 1st, 1970. That's it. That is their entire concept of time.
So where are they storing this massive, always growing number? And this thing right here, a signed 32-bit integer. Just think of it like a tiny digital box. I mean, back in the day, it probably seemed big enough. It was cheap, it was efficient, and of course, nobody was thinking that far ahead. Classic engineer move.
This number, this is the heart of the whole problem. It's the absolute biggest number that our tiny little 32-bit box can hold, a little over 2 billion. 2 billion seconds. That's it. That is the end of the line. The counter just can't go any higher.
And on January 19th, 2038, bam, we hit the limit. That cosmic odometer just ticks over one last time. So what happens? You'd think it would just stop, right? Or maybe throw some kind of error message? Oh no, 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 no. It does something so much worse. Something so elegantly stupid.
It overflows. See, because it's a signed integer, the very first bit is basically a switch for positive or negative. So when all the other bits are maxed out and it tries to tick up one more time, that first bit flips. And the whole thing doesn't just go back to 0. No, it wraps all the way around to the biggest negative number it can possibly be. So get this. 1 second, the computer is like, okay, the time is positive 2 billion and change. The very next second, it thinks the time is negative 2 billion and change. To the machine, time just instantly jumped backwards by more than 4 billion seconds. Poof. And here's the final, absolutely ridiculous result. You take our starting point, 1970, and you subtract those 2 billion seconds from it. And where does that land you? December 1901. Yeah, before World War I, before the Titanic sank. That's what your computer's clock is suddenly going to say.
Right, so what this glitch breaks? And believe me, it's worse than you think. You might be asking, who cares if some computer thinks it's 1901? Well, it turns out anything that uses a timestamp cares. A lot. And the chain reaction this sets off, it's going to be so much worse than you're probably imagining.
Just imagine for a second. Your bank's software tries to calculate the interest on your mortgage, and suddenly it thinks your payments are 137 years overdue. Or what about a traffic system that decides its own programming hasn't been invented yet, so it just shuts down? Anything, and I mean anything that relies on a timestamp is now completely, dangerously broken.
So I know what you're thinking, but my phone is 64-bit, my computer is 64-bit, I'm safe, right? And yeah, for the most part, you're right. Your personal tech will probably be fine. But here's the thing, you are not the problem.
Yes, but your car isn't. Your power grid isn't. Your elevator isn't. The problem is all the invisible computers, the ones you never see. You know, the chip in your car's anti-lock brakes, the controller for the entire power grid, the little logic board in the elevator you ride every single day. These are the systems that were built to be installed and then completely forgotten about for decades.
The real danger here is what we call embedded systems. We're talking about the cheap, set-it-and-forget-it chips inside of everything. Power grids, factory robots, anti-lock brakes, your Wi-Fi router, medical devices, traffic systems. Billions of these things are out there running ancient 32-bit code that is a nightmare to update. Heck, some of them, we probably don't even know where they are anymore.
So, the so-called simple fix. How do we solve this mess? Oh, this is the best part. The fix is so ridiculously simple, it almost makes the original problem even more infuriating. You just
use a bigger box.
We just switched from a 32-bit system to a 64-bit one. So instead of running out of time in 2038, we run out of time in 292 times billion years. Let me put that in perspective for you. The sun will have burned out. Our entire galaxy might not even exist anymore. That's how long a 64-bit clock lasts. The solution was right there the whole time.
So, what's the problem? If the fix is that easy, why are we even talking about this? Just upgrade everything, right? Problem solved. Simple.
Yeah, no. See, the problem isn't the code. It's finding it. This isn't a programming challenge anymore. It's a physical, global scavenger hunt to find every single one of those cheap, forgotten 32-bit chips buried deep inside our infrastructure before its little timer runs out.
So are planes going to fall out of the sky in 2038? Look, probably not. Most critical systems have backups for their backups. But is it going to be a chaotic, incredibly expensive, and frankly, a deeply embarrassing mess that we created all by ourselves? Oh yeah, for sure.
But what if your toaster stops working? See, the real problem here isn't going to be one single giant catastrophe. It's going to be a million little, tiny, inexplicable failures all at once. So when 2038 finally rolls around and your brand new smart toaster just stops working, you might want to check the date. It probably thinks it's 1901.